In previous segments, we've been learning a lot about real estate in Hawaii with Mukaigawa of Engel and Volkers, Honolulu. And today, we have something a little bit different, a deeper dive into mortgage lending.
That's right, thank you. Joining me is Nelson Oyadomari with Primary Residential Mortgage for a conversation about mortgage lending and specifically a topic I think is often overlooked, your credit scores and how it can help and hurt your ability to get a mortgage. Welcome, Nelson.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
When someone decides to purchase real estate, am I correct in stressing the need to understand your credit and specifically your credit scores?
Absolutely. Okay, I've been helping homeowners and investors finance their purchases for over 25 years. And yes, you are correct. A person's credit score and their overall credit profile can determine what interest rate they get. It also determines how much they pay up front in cost to get the particular interest rate. And for some with unfortunate credit profile, it may mean that they cannot get a mortgage at all.
Is there an easy to understand example to illustrate this?
Yes, so let's use this as an example. Let's take John Veneri, yourself, and myself.
Okay.
And we all make the same amount of money. We have the same amount of savings. And we want to buy the same condo for $500,000.
Okay.
And we all want the same interest rate. So everything is the same between the three of us.
Okay.
Except our credit score.
Okay.
So we have a $500,000 condo. We're going to put 20% down. So our loan amount is $400,000. So you have an excellent credit rating. You pay on time. You keep your balances low. So your credit score is 740. Okay, that number. John Veneri, on the other hand, he makes the payments on time. He keeps his balances low. But when he decided to apply for a mortgage, just before that, he bought Mikey and Kelly a computer and he put it on his credit card. And because of that spike in his credit balance, his credit score dropped just 1 point to 739. Okay? And then there's me. I usually make my payments on time, but unfortunately I missed a few credit card payments, and so my credit score dropped to 699. Okay, so remember, we all are buying the same home, and we have the same profile except for our credit scores.
Okay.
So for you, it costs you nothing to get a particular interest rate. You pay no points or fees to get that rate.
Okay.
John Veneri, on the other hand, because his credit score dropped just 1 point, to get that same rate that you're getting, he has to now pay 0.25% of the $400,000, which is $1,000 added to his closing costs.
Wow.
Yeah. And so me, on the other hand, my score is 699. I have to pay 1.25% of the loan amount to get the same rate. That's $5,000 added to my closing costs. Unfortunately, because of my score. Yes, so again, cost you nothing, cost John $1,000, and cost me $5,000 to get the same interest rate, all because our credit scores are different.
Well, it's a big difference. What advice would you give to someone who's planning on purchasing a home?
It's to plan early.
Yeah.
The advice that we give everybody is to meet with your mortgage professional early in the process, and if necessary, develop a plan to optimize your overall credit profile. If someone waits until they're in contract or they're putting in an offer to do this, it is oftentimes too late to make any kind of meaningful change. So the advice would be to plan early.
No surprises that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow, Nelson, that's some great advice. Planning early and understanding that. Who would think just 1 point would make all the difference? Became an expensive computer for John to buy.
Very.
So thank you to Nelson Oyadomari with Primary Residential Mortgage for joining us today. We're glad we got to learn a little bit more about credit scores.
Thanks so much, Kay. Yes, very important, especially, when you're starting to look for a home. Getting pre-approved and talking to a lender is one of the first things that you should do. Not only, to figure out in terms of your credit score and what you need to do, but that way you also get a price point. This is what I can afford. This is the monthly payment. So that should be the first thing. So appreciative to Nelson. So if you do want to get in touch with a lender, make sure you hit them up. And of course, if you want any more real estate tips and tricks and some advice advice, you can head over to the Living808 tab of KHON2.com. All of the Engel and Volkers Living Akamai segments are there, so you should definitely check them out. And of course, hit up Engel and Volkers.
Yes, shocking how just 1 point can make a lot of difference when it comes to your credit score.
Significant. All right. Well, coming up next.